Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining at the town hall meeting today. My name is Hao Dang. I'm here with my buddy, my friend, Eric. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really afraid about this webinar, though.
You nervous?
I'm nervous. Yeah.
You don't seem it.
Well,
it's a fear of yours to talk public.
It's
public
fear.
speaking.
Yeah. Well, I've done these before, but I feel nervous this time.
That's funny. If you haven't figured it out, he's just being a little bit of a segue going into what we're talking about today, which is acknowledging your fears.
Yes.
And how to use your fears to propel you to getting your business to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But first and foremost, I want to talk about is what is fear? What is fear to you?
Well, I mean, this is so super cliche, but the answer to the question is false evidence appearing real.
F-E-A-R, right?
That's how you spell fear, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, you know, we talk to a lot of real estate agents and we talk to a lot of loan officers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, loan officers are in the state of fear.
Yes.
Okay.
Many of my clients are.
Many of my clients are. And
yeah.
the main reason why is not enough leads. Not enough leads. And what that means is that brings a lot of fear to the industry,
yeah.
a lot of fear to the loan officers, like what's going on, why are the real estate agents not giving me any leads and stuff. So
yeah, and even a lot of the people that I'm talking to have a lot of leads, but there's not a lot of inventory. So that's a newer fear.
Mm-hmm.
Certain markets have been low inventory for a few years now, but it's more prevalent now than ever. It's just nationwide. Even if you have a ton of leads, there's a fear that there's not going to be properties for them to buy. So that's a newer fear that I feel a lot of my clients are experiencing right now.
So let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about, first and foremost, is what fear can do to you, what fear can do to your business and
mm-hmm.
in your daily life, right? First off, let's acknowledge the fact, fear. Guys, I want you to think about this is, in your current state, in your business, what is one of your biggest fears?
Yeah.
What fears you? What keeps you up at night about your business? What keeps your real estate agents up at night about their business? What is their fear? What is their number one fear? Rick Ruby talks about that a lot, right? So fear can do two things to you, two major things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you present this one.
So it can paralyze you or it can propel you. And one thing, like you said, acknowledging fear, if you don't acknowledge the fear, then you're defaulting to being paralyzed by it because you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to use that fear as a fuel to push you forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got paralyze, propel. That's another way to say it is fear or flight, right? That's
fear
something,
or flight, right?
That's like an innate human instinct since caveman days.
Right.
Is, oh my gosh, there's a giant saber-toothed tiger about to eat me. Should I run away from it or should I grab my stick and kill it? Fear or flight. What would you do in that situation?
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting that one, the saber-tooth part, but for me, I'm going to, I choose the survival mode. I go into survival mode. I choose to fight. I choose to make more phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I choose to reach out to more people because I take fear as a motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I take fear as in keep pounding, make those phone calls, and overcome them. Okay, fear is an obstacle to me.
Yeah.
And am I either going to go and meet it right up, or am I going to go around it, or is it an excuse for me to just, you know what, kind of mail it in?
Yeah, it can be both for everybody at different times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be all high and mighty and say, I always fight. I always get propelled and motivated by fear. I'd say that it's a day-to-day, even minute-to-minute thing for most of us. And having the internal fortitude to ignore the natural instinct to flee, because let's be honest, if you saw a saber-toothed tiger, you would run away. I would. I know I would.
I'm not going to run as fast as them. So I have already.
Okay, so you're being logical about it,
yeah,
instead of emotional.
Because I've already, yes, exactly. Because I already know when I turn around, my fear has the best of me.
Mm-hmm.
They see my back. But if I see them face to face in my fear, right, then I know how to react as it's coming towards me.
So let's bring this back to like tactical stuff for business.
Right.
Because there's no saber-toothed tigers out there.
But the saber-toothed tiger or the big elephant in the room is there's no business right now, or I'm not getting the leads, or my realtors are not responding to me, or I can't even get realtors to answer my phone call, yet alone reply back to my voicemails.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a fear that everybody's having, and it's a fear of one thing, objection. Right? So when you have a fear of objection or you fear the market, what do?
Yeah. What have you seen? Because you and I both, we've got many clients all across the country. What have you seen the flight mentality or the paralyzation of fear? How's it been affecting the loan officers that you work with?
So that's a great question. So the loan officers I work with, and a few of them are probably on here, my challenge to them is doubling, if not 1.5, their activities, right? So the greatness tracker, right? Instead of making 15 face-to-faces, 5 break breads, and 60 phone calls, now they're doing 15 face-to-faces, 5 break breads, 90 phone calls, if not 100 phone calls, right? Because you've got to contact more people. Yeah. This is how I say is you overcome that fear. You overcome the fact that inventory is low. Okay, inventory is low. Yeah. Reach out to more real estate agents. Have something. Now, here's a cool part. When it comes to fear and overcoming the fear, or trying to get business relating to your realtors, you have to bring what to the table? Value. 100% value, right? Yeah. So as us, the core, as a head trainer like yourself and I, in order for us to be able to speak to our our loan officers, we have to bring what? Value. Extreme value. Yeah. Extreme value, because now,
more than the typical, hey, call realtors, see people face to face, we got to bring it at a different level.
What do you want me to say? Okay, I get it. You want me to call 60 realtors, right? I know you want me to call 40 realtors, right? I want you to, go 15 face-to-faces. Well, what do I talk about? What do I bring to the table? Right? And that becomes something that Rick talked about the other day, right? Friday, and he said the 3 what? The 3 Ds.
Those 3 Ds, yeah.
What is your desire? Yeah. What is your dream? And then most importantly, what is your dashboard?
Yeah, and then the dials.
The dials. Well, that dials
the desire / dream.
And then how many dials do you make, right? When you're talking to a realtor right now, don't you think they're struggling? Don't you think they are in a little bit of fear mode? Yeah. Get in the trenches with them.
Do you know which agents are not struggling as much though? Are agents that have already been focused on listings. And that's something tactically that you can leverage in an environment like this. So let's look at the fear, right? A fear, low inventory. I have all these pre-approvals. None of them are getting their offers accepted. Right. I'm not going to close any loans, even though I have all these people that want money.
Multiple offers per listing.
So to turn that fear into a fuel, you can take those pre-approvals. Let's say you've got 25, 30. I know some people that have 50 plus pre-approved buyers that are out looking. Go to open houses every single weekend, walk in, shake hands with the realtor, say, hey, Mr. Dang, my name's Eric Bierke. I've got about 50 pre-approved buyers right now, so I'm just going to take a look around and see if this is something they would qualify for. Can I get your card?
Well, actually, Mr. Bierke, if you have 50 pre-approvals, I actually have more listings than this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why don't we get together on Monday? I'll give you a call. Can I get your card?
Sure.
I'll call you on Monday and let's set up an appointment to see how we can work together to sell some of your properties and get some of my buyers into homes. Is that fair?
Hey, you know what? If you're going to come to me at my open house and leverage some of your pre-approvals, and I have more listings, I think it's absolutely fair and very tactical for me to meet up with you.
Perfect. So that's just one example of how you can leverage your problem and turn it into an opportunity to develop relationships and close more deals, right?
Right.
The other thing too is sometimes there is no easy way around it. You just have to do it. You
have to execute.
Yeah, you've got to take that list of 40 realtors and say, okay, I got to call 40 realtors today. It's not going to be fun, but my desire, my dream for where I want to be a year from now to 5 years from now is worth more to me than avoiding the pain of rejection and leaving a ton of voicemails for agents, right? So we were talking about something the other day as it relates to fear. I think it was in a book, and there was also a video that one of our coaches, Josh Sigmund, sent out talking about the buffalo versus the cow, right?
Yes, and the storm.
and the storm. And right now, your fear,
Is a storm.
think of it as the storm.
Is a storm. Your fear is a storm. And are you a buffalo or are you a cow? Right? In regards to what are you going to do when the storm comes?
So what does a buffalo do versus a cow?
A buffalo will see the storm and run right towards it.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's because they want to meet it right away and get it over with.
Okay.
Okay? A cow, on the other hand, turns their back and runs away from it. Same thing as making phone calls.
Mhm.
Same thing as reaching out to your realtors. Same thing as fear of rejection, right? The biggest reason why people don't call realtors is because they're fear of rejection. I don't want to hear no. I mean, no just drives me crazy, right? Get that no out of the way. How many no's do you have? So are you a buffalo or are you not?
Mm-hmm. Running right into the storm, tackling that fear by making the calls every single day, by going on the face-to-face appointments. Because, I mean, it's a classic sales adage, every no gets you closer to a yes. That's what running into the storm is in this situation, is making those phone calls, dealing with the no's, because you know it's going to get you closer to a yes.
And just by being on this webinar, Eric's already taught you 2 or 3 tactics, right? Bring your pre-approvals. Bring your pre-approvals as leverage of the reason why realtors want to talk to you. If they're going to sit at an open house, chances are they don't just have one listing.
Mm-hmm.
They have several. And if you're going to go and represent the buyer's agent as well as the buyer, chances are you have more than one pre-approval.
Mm-hmm.
But do you connect the dots there?
Yeah.
Are
and
you
sorry to interrupt, but
good.
when I'm thinking about going to the open houses, a lot of the time, newer and younger agents will sit those open houses for the listing agent, because the listing agent is big, fancy,
Don't have time,
right? So that's an opportunity just to present yourself as somebody that's really good at what you do, because you have all these pre-approvals, to kind of pique the interest of the buyer's agent, or what other the newer agent is that's sitting that open house, because they're there looking for leads. And the truth of the matter is, if you go in and that person's looking for leads and you make a good impression on them and you follow up on Monday, there's a great opportunity for them to send you some of that business.
And that brings back to something Kendra Cook. Now we get to talk to Kendra every day,
Yeah.
right? And I asked Kendra, what is the one biggest mistake a loan officer does? Believe it or not, follow up.
Mm-hmm.
She says, they come in, they give a great speech, they give a great sales pitch, they get my attention, they say they're going to call, they don't call. There's no follow-up. They say they're going to send a bunch of information over. The email never goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then she says, so you get the email, you send the email, hey, I'm going to send you some email about ABC Mortgage. I'm going to send you some email about me, maybe even throw in a live testimonial about me. And then guess what happens? They never call to follow up on my email, or on their email that they sent. Right. Biggest thing, follow up. So if you're going to go to an open house, you're going to leverage your pre-approvals. You say you're going to call them. You say you're going to send an email. Send an email. Call them. Respect their time. Let them know. Hey, Eric, just wanted to say thank you so much for the 15 minutes you gave me during your open house. Listen, I promised you I would call you on Monday. It's Monday before 10 o'clock. Wanted to reach out to you. Doing my due diligence. How are you? How did it go? And then follow up. If I said I was going to send him an email, send the email, follow up by a phone call. Eric, just wondering, did you get my email? What did you think about the testimonial? Do you think that there's an opportunity we can meet? I would love to take you out for coffee. It's that follow up, which is, again, it stems from one thing, fear. We're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of hearing the word no. No one's ever gotten a black eye because of no. Right? But it all stems from the fear. That's one big thing. Let me ask you, what is the one thing that keeps you up at night?
Yeah, back to that question. And so I was thinking about something. This is all, it's not rocket science. It's all very simple things. But the first step is what this webinar is all about, is acknowledging those fears. Right now, write down what it is that's keeping you up at night, what it is that you're fearful about these days. I'll go first. I'll tell you, personally, I'm afraid that a lot of my clients are going to quit because they're afraid and they're seeing that business isn't where it's been in the past. That's a fear for me. I'm going to lose business because my clients are losing business. And what I'm doing to overcome that fear is I'm calling more often. I'm bringing more value. I'm bringing stronger accountability. I'm sticking to the process.
But you're also making it more simple for them too.
Oh, absolutely. Because do you know what fear causes?
I do, but you want to go ahead and tell them?
Chaos. It causes chaos in your life when you're fearful. And when we're in chaos, we lose sight of the basics.
You react.
Yes.
You're not proactive. I'm gonna tell you right now, when you're in chaos mode, you're reactive the whole time. When you're doing great and you have a plan, a system in place, you are in tactical mode. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's almost like you're playing chess while everybody's playing checkers, mm-hmm. right? So you're way steps ahead of time. On Mondays, I'm going to call. Tuesdays, I'm going to call, for status updates. Wednesdays, I'm going to do my pre-approval calls. Everything is systemized. It's strategic mm-hmm. for you, right? But you're in a fear mode, which causes you to be in chaos. You start reacting to everything.
Yeah, and so chaos in your business, I mean, the opposite of chaos is order, right? Mm-hmm. Chaos equals disorder, and then the opposite of that is order. When you have a system and a structure and a process that you're following every single day, like you said, being proactive instead of reactive, it's being a logical business person mm-hmm. instead of an emotional salesperson.
Right.
And, the head and the heart, they have to work together. There's got to be a balance. But when you're in fear, you lose your head. You lose your head and you start doing illogical things. Logically, it's mathematically proven that if you call 10 people to set an appointment, you'll probably catch 3 or 4 of them on the phone, and 1 of them will take the appointment. Right? It's like a 30% conversion just doing the numbers. So logically, you would say, hey, how many real estate agents do I need to send me business this year to hit my goals? Right? That's the sunshine on the other side of the storm. That's what the buffalo are running through the storm to get to.
Well, that's knowing your dashboard too.
Yes.
That's acknowledging, again, coming back to the acknowledgement part. Right?
Yes.
So, all right, so we've been speaking for about 18 minutes now. I'm going to challenge every single one of you.
Man, time flies.
I know. I'm going to challenge every single one of you to do one thing, is call your realtors and ask them what we asked you. Ask them, as the real estate agent in today's business, what are you most fearful about? What keeps you up at night? Mm-hmm. And whatever they say, whatever answer, let's just say it's ABC. Their answer is ABC keeps me up at night. I'm always worried about ABC. Be strategic, be brave, and ask them, what is your current loan officer doing to preventing ABC to happening in your life?
Wow.
Mic drop?
Mic drop.
I still got time. We got to keep
Webinar's
going.
Over. That's it. That's all we need.
No.
I'm afraid that I can't say anything better than that.
You don't have to. So what is it? What is your biggest fear as a real estate agent that keeps you up at night? ABC. Mm-hmm. How as a real estate agent, my biggest fear is ABC. All right, fantastic. Let me ask you, what is your current number 1 and number 2 loan officer doing right now to prevent your ABC biggest fear from becoming reality in the next 3 months, 9 months, and 1 year?
It's huge. Do we want to take some questions?
Actually, we do. So now's the time where we're just going to open it up. Guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you have, questions about overcoming objections or overcoming your fear, or really if you have an objection that you've been hearing from real estate agents left and right, mm-hmm. let us know. We're here. We're definitely going to help you out. Just type it in a little box and we can start.
Yeah. So as people are putting in questions, see if we've got some already.
Okay.
But we were talking about something the other day, like a good example, and you were mentioning earlier when the microphone was off that you feel much more buff and strong.
I did?
Because yes, and you look it too.
Thanks.
And so
way to build me up. Okay.
But you can see that. Okay. You were saying that you did and do have fear around exercise, right?
Right.
So how are you overcoming that? Well, talk about the fears. But what's an example of how you're overcoming it?
Well, my fear, honestly, is I don't want to injure myself. I don't want to injure myself, and 2, I want to do it right. And in order for me to overcome my fear of not injuring myself, doing it right, and I only have a certain amount of time in a day. You know that. I mean, I have my wife, I work here and stuff. I had to invest myself into getting into a gym and getting a personal trainer, which we've talked about, right? Personal trainer, he's like, I think he's like 6'3", and it's funny when he works out with me, he's like showing, it's like towering over me, right? But he makes sure he knows first and foremost, I have to tell him my goals.
Yes.
Right. And I have to put my goals down, and I have to acknowledge, and I have to tell him, I'm like, hey, listen, please do not injure me. Like, I don't want to get injured. I don't want to be laid up or limping and hobbling for a few days or weeks at a time. And I don't want, that's not my goal.
Yeah.
And two, I don't want to just get, too just bulky and stuff. So he knows that. So he's written me out.
So you set the expectations. This is what I want to accomplish.
Well, he asked me first. Yeah.
Okay. And then, and you establish like, hey, my fears are getting injured, getting too strong.
Actually, there's a difference. Like,
unbalanced strength.
There you go.
Okay, sorry.
So he figures he has to write down a curriculum for me.
How does he have you overcoming those?
He holds me accountable. First off, he explains it to me is, this is what you're going to do, right? So
he gives you direction, a structure.
And I'm telling, it's low weight, high reps. So he knows exactly what I need. And then he holds me accountable to it, and he counts my reps.
So what happens when you're not done with your reps, but you're feeling tired?
Well,
does he yell at you?
Not yell.
Does he push you?
But he reminds me.
He reminds you of what you're doing this for. That's what you have to do. And the bottom line is, you need to have a couple of things to overcome fear, right? First of all, you need to have your goal, your desire, what it is that you're striving for. Rick has been talking about this book he's reading called It Starts With Why by Simon Sinek. And if you guys haven't seen the video, just Google the Golden Circle, Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
I think it's Sinek. It's an amazing video. It's like 20 minutes or less. But you've got to focus on that why, because there are times that no matter what, the only thing that's going to push you through something is your why. And it can be anything as long as it's important. But
listen, after that 15th phone call of people saying no, what's the first thing that I forget about?
The why.
My why. After you're making, and you know what, you come in, we tell you to call 60 realtors or 40 realtors and 60 great phone
even
calls.
20 is a lot for some people.
And it's just like, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Eric?
Yes.
Hey, this is Hal from ABC. Hello? And you hang up. I mean, it's painful.
Yeah.
So you do that one time, okay, you pick up another one, you do it again. 5 times in a row, you have a tendency to steer away from that why.
That's why you need a coach pushing you, telling you, hey, this is the plan. Don't forget about your why. Execute. Execution is the key, especially when there's fear. If you see, I have not watched any of the Final Four or, well,
the Final Four hasn't started yet.
I know. I realized that after I said that. But I haven't watched any of the March Madness.
Right.
Because I have 2 kids under 2 at home, so I don't have a lot of personal time on the weekends, which I love. And I'm not being sarcastic about that. Right. In case my wife is watching. But it's like these teams, these are kids. There's got to be some fear going on when they're on such a big stage. And the coach is there pushing them, keeping them focused on the fundamentals. Rebound, play defense, hustle back. And the fundamentals for you as loan officers are call realtors, see people face to face, follow up, do Tuesday updates, call your buyer, the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, ask them how they're feeling about the transaction. They're afraid too. Quell their fears, right? And it's just repetition of the process that's necessary, that you have to follow it. And you need a coach to push you and keep you focused on that plan.
Right. And one big thing, people get motivated by 2 ways: fear of loss or hope to gain.
Also, the carrot and the stick is a good.
That's exactly what it is, right? So you got a fear of loss. You know, if you don't prospect, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
Right. So that's so you're hoping to gain more money. You can think about it another way. If you don't prospect, you can't pay your bills. Well, that's a fear of loss. What motivates you? Most people, I get motivated by fear of loss. Right? You probably get motivated by what?
Both. Fear of loss, hope to gain.
See, I as long as I don't lose anything and I keep doing well, and I'm prospecting and I'm taking care of my current clients, right? I'm not losing my current clients. I'm going to be able to have the ability to gain everything. But my biggest fear is fear of loss. Fear of loss motivates me.
Yeah.
fear of loss also paralyzes a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I mean, I'm going to kind of close it on here.
Do we have no questions?
We did well today. We did well.
I'm afraid that we did terrible, so nobody has questions.
You got to get over that.
Okay.
So, but I will tell you right now is if you have a fear that's paralyzing you, or you want to be propelled by your fear, the best way to overcome that, have a system, have a structure, have the ability to execute a proven system in order to help you make more money, save more money, and have more time at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you don't have that, the core has the ability to help you. We have the 12 steps to doubling your income. It literally starts with step number 1, initial contact. Right? Initial contact, which is, if I told all the people that are on this webinar today that I made, the core makes you make phone calls to realtors, half of you are going to be paralyzed.
Half of you are going to be like, well, duh, I don't need to pay you $300 a month to do that.
But then I tell you, you do, because here's the thing.
They're not doing it.
They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You don't know what to say. Just call your realtors. Great. Don't ask for business. Provide value.
Yeah.
Don't ask for business. Ask them what their fears are. Don't ask for business. Ask them what their struggles are. Facilitate their fears. Facilitate their struggles. And then turn around and say, I want to partner with you. You're the right person to partner with. That's how you overcome the fear. It's because most of the time when you have a fear of something, it's because you don't have an execution plan to get out of that way.
Yeah, and it comes back to, we mentioned it a couple different times. What is the biggest thing that you're afraid of for your business right now? What is keeping you up at night? And really put some thought into it. Look at the answer to that question, and then ask yourself this question: what is your plan to prevent that from happening? And what accountability do you have to that plan? Those are really the 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. There's a lot of current clients on this webinar as well, I'm sure, and you can answer that question as, hey, I do have a plan. It's from the core. It's call 40 realtors Monday, do my Tuesday updates Tuesday, do my pre-app calls Wednesday, call my past clients Thursday, call my VIPs on Friday, and my accountability is the core training.
I have questions on here.
Excellent.
I just don't know how to get to them.
Oh my gosh, we're flying solo here.
I know.
That's what happens when you put salespeople in charge of technology and like multitasking.
Hold on, guys. I know.
Everybody's like, I have questions. I do have questions.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, cool. Well, I have time to answer them. We apologize for not getting to them. Oh, wait. I see a question mark.
There you go.
Can we expand that? Drag it down?
I'm trying.
All right, we can read them 2 words at a time. This is going to be good. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of questions. Sorry, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
All
okay.
Right. Can we watch a recording on the Core app? Oh, that's a great question. We will get that answer to you.
TBD.
Yeah. Have you heard of anyone capitalizing on Reno with current listings and aren't moving for realtors?
Here, wait, scroll up again. Let me try to read that.
Sure.
Have you, wait, go one more line. Have you heard of anyone capitalizing on Reno, probably in Reno with current listings that aren't moving for realtors? I'm not sure I understand the question. I have not heard that before. I have a couple clients in Reno. We got a couple coaches in Reno, actually. So what I'll do, who asked that question? We'll be able to go back and pull this. That's a good question that I can do some research for you and get back to you.
Okay. The value you bring to each agent will be different, correct? Correct, Rob. Absolutely. You have to ask them what their fears are. I mean, yeah, based on their fears, absolutely.
Now on that same note, it's not going to be like vastly different. There's probably only what do you think? 5 things that realtors are afraid of or need from a loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
So the more realtors you meet with and the more realtors that you basically interview them to see how you can help them, the more information you're going to have from past experience of knowing, just going into the meeting, hey, you know what? Hal's going to need one of these 3 things, and I have one of these 3 things that I can do to solve that problem.
Right.
Right. It comes with repetition. You just got to see a lot of people. But we even have we have an audio that breaks down that entire process of how to interview the agent face to face.
Reno. Sorry, Reno.
Oh,
Reno
renovation
means
loans.
renovation loans. Okay, I got it. I fixed this thing now. So. Okay.
Sorry, Melanie. That's a great point. Hey, Melanie, how are you? She's my friend.
All right.
Yeah, I talked to her 2 days in a row. So this is the 3rd day in a row I got to talk to you. This is awesome. So I have heard about people doing renovation loans, and it's something that I don't know a lot about. I'm not super well versed in the details of the loan process or anything, but I do know you should take a look at what products you have available. It's not the ideal way to close loans, but if there's nothing out there, you got to get paid somehow, right? So I would connect with contractors, anybody that's in the business of, helping with add-ons, because a lot of people are looking at the inventory and saying to themselves, you know what, if I sold my house, I don't know that I would be able to find something within my price range that would meet my needs. So they are turning to adding on to their current property as a solution. I've heard it's popular in Northern California and probably all over the country. You just need to find out who knows those people, electricians, painters, contractors. Make those connections and put them on your VIP list, Melanie, and just start reaching out to those types of people on Friday and ask them, hey, as a loan officer, I have a couple products to help people with renovation. I'd love to sit down with you and find out how we can work together to get you more business and to help people create more bedrooms in their current house.
There you go. Brandon Ferguson.
Hey, I know that guy.
He's your friend too?
Not as close as you guys are. But.
What are a couple of tactics to help realtors gain those extra listings, open houses? What else? When you're doing
to help the realtors get the listings, there's something. Aaron Denton, he's one of our students. He was in here the other day, and he shared something that he's teaching a lot of the people he works with to do. What do you call circle prospecting?
So you're prospecting with people that you already know.
Yeah,
you're prospecting,
pick a neighborhood, get a listing. Shoot, for a real estate agent, it doesn't even have to be their listing. Just find a neighborhood that's got 1 or 2 properties that are on the market and just call around that neighborhood, because homeowners don't always realize that there's certain things that are public information are public information. So for a real estate agent, if they just pulled up a neighborhood that's got a couple listings from different realtors, because you want to find a neighborhood where there's clearly not a major footprint from one of their competitors, and just kind of call through the neighborhood and say, hey, were you curious to know what so-and-so is selling their house for? Were you curious to know?
Giving comparisons.
Yeah, comparisons. It's kind of a sneaky way to get listing appointments.
Right.
Like, hey, I can come teach you something, when really you're coming in to do a listing appointment.
Right. And then the best thing also is I like open houses because most people, like, for instance, when we were buying, my wife and I would go into an open house. We did not have anything with our existing house yet. Right. So we're walking in on the first stages. Right. And if you're doing an open house, you need to say to them, hey, what are you looking for in a home? Is this something right? By the way, are you owning or renting right now? Oh, I'm owning. Oh, what are you going to do with it? Is this an investment property or are you going to sell? Then I start moving in from that part. So,
that's something I was talking to one of my clients the other day, just about his process and everything. And I said, hey, every time you have a new buyer, do you ask every single time if they've got a property to sell? And he's like, oh, no.
No, they don't.
Right? Like, that's honestly one of the best ways to get listings is just ask your buyers if they have a property.
And if it comes down to it, you can call expireds. Calling expireds is huge too, as long as you have something tangible to give them. Something that you're brave enough to call them and say, listen, most of the time, I can do this.
There's a secret for that.
Well, we were in Rick Ruby's office when that happened. So
there's a secret for the expireds that a lot of realtors don't do. Wait 6 months. Something that's been expired for 6 months, because every realtor is going to be calling day one. And then that homeowner is going to be really wore out from real estate agents. But 6 months later, hey, were you still interested in selling your home? I noticed that it was listed, but it didn't sell.
Excuse me.
And when it comes to expireds and FSBOs as well, as a loan officer, that's something that you can offer because the realtors are afraid to make phone calls. They're just as afraid.
There's a fear thing again.
Right? And if, let's say that their fear is not having enough leads, and you said, okay, well, are you afraid to call expireds and FSBOs? They might not admit that they're afraid of that, but they are.
Because they have nothing to offer.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can say, well, tell you what, I'll dedicate some of my time each week to, if you can find me a list of FSBOs or expireds that you're interested in, I'll make the initial call for you to find out if there's an opportunity. So you're serving up a warm lead on a platter for them,
Right.
which is that's a guaranteed way to get a relationship, helping them make money.
And I'll tell you one more story and we'll let you guys go. But so Eric and I have the luxury to sit into Rick Ruby's office and talk to him once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting in there one day and one of his properties was going on listing. It was expired. So he gets a phone call from an agent, just cold called him. Mm-hmm. The agent knew exactly how much his house was worth.
Yeah.
Knew exactly, just gave him a few tidbits about what that person would do immediately in regards to just cosmetic changes, right? And then qualified herself by saying that she sold several houses in the last year, in 2017, in his price range, which made him comfortable in knowing she already had sold price ranges in there. Teach your real estate agents to do a little bit of homework before you call any expired listings or FSBOs. Teach them. You know what? Hey, Eric, I know that your house is unexpired. By the way, last year I sold 3 houses that is dab priced on where you were, and I was able to sell them in less than 40 days. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? Did I bring enough value to earn your 15 minutes? Right? Don't ask, earn. Don't ask for that appointment, earn that appointment. Mm-hmm. For a real estate agent, when you're calling them, don't ask them for business, earn their business. Don't ask them for the meeting, earn the right to meet with them. So, guys, thank you so much. It's you know what?
Double check. Is there another question?
I don't think so. Now that I figured out how to use this thing. So,
awesome.
You know what? First quarter's done. Now we are in crunch time. Yeah, we are crunch time. Second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. And you know what? What I would love for you to do is look at your dashboard. What were you going to think you were going to make this year? What was your goal? How many transactions were you going to do? Right? Look back at January, February, and March. Take that number, multiply it by 4, and see if you're going to hit your dashboard or not. Mm-hmm. If you're not, we got to make a change.
Yeah.
Get a system, get a structure.